Greetings, loved ones. When victims of domestic violence realize that they are in danger, need to leave, they should conduct a danger assessment and create a safety plan. Leaving a violent partner is usually the most dangerous time for a victim of gender violence. Today, we're going to talk about how you can do a danger assessment, and tomorrow and the next days, we'll talk about how you can create a safety plan. So if you can right now, pause this video and get yourself a pen and paper so you can write down some questions and answers to help you conduct your own danger assessment. So pause this right now, get your pen and paper. I'll wait for you. So to help get these messages out, please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit that like button, and please share these messages with others. You never know, just by doing so, you could save a life. That is the purpose of these programs, is so that those of you who are not victims of violence, you can recognize a victim of violence and you can help them. And those of you who are victims of violence, that you can understand that you are a victim of violence and that you can leave. So today is really, really important. This danger assessment was originally developed in 1986 between some investigators, one named Campbell, with consultation and content validity support from battered women, sheltered workers, law enforcement officials, and other clinical experts on battering. This danger assessment helps to determine the level of danger an abused woman has of being killed by her intimate partner. Several risk factors have been associated with increased risk of murders of women and men in violent relationships. We cannot predict what will happen in your case, but we would like you to be aware of the danger of homicide in situations of abuse and for you to see how many of the risk factors apply to your situation. So if you haven't done so already, pause this video, grab yourself a pen and paper, and grab a calendar. And once you have them, hit play, and let's begin your danger assessment. Okay, let's go. Using the calendar, I want you to mark the approximate dates during the past year when you were abused by your partner or ex-partner. Write down on the date and how bad the incident was according to the following scale of 1 to 5, and we have a graphic going up here. So for each of the following actions, there's a schedule of 1 to 5. So was it a 1, was it a 2, was it a 3, was it a 4 or 5? You can see it before you, so I'm going to read it. Scale number 1 was you were slapped, you were pushed, you didn't have any injuries or lasting pain. Number 2, you were punched, you were kicked, you have bruises, cuts, and maybe you have some pain that stays behind. Number 3 is a beating up. This is where there are severe contusions, burns, and broken bones. Number 4 is when there was a threat to use a weapon, head injury, internal injury, permanent injury, miscarriage, and choking. And 5 is the use of weapons and wounds from a weapon. So take your time, look at your calendar, and write down the date and how bad the incident was according to this scale. So take your time. You can pause the video with the graphic up, go through the dates, and mark down 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If any of the descriptions for a higher number applies, please use that higher number. Okay, so we're back. So to determine how much danger you are in, first I want you to look at how many days you were abused and look and see if there's any patterns. Is it always on a Friday? Is it always on a payday? Is it always on a holiday? Look and see if there are any patterns. Look at the frequency. But also look at the numbers you assign to those days. The more frequent the abuse and or the higher number assigned displays how much danger you are in. If you have a lot of 1s and 2s, your life might not be in danger today, but it will be down the road. If you have 3s, 4s, maybe even a 5, then you are definitely at risk of being murdered and need to leave before it's too late. So let's look at another risk assessment that includes 20 questions. So on a piece of paper, write down the numbers 1 to 20. And if you need to pause this, go ahead and pause this in order to do that and to be ready. So I'll give you a second to do that. 1, 2, 3, write it down 1 to 20. So what I want you to do is when I ask you this question, I want you to write the answer yes or no. When we say the word he, this is going to refer to your husband, partner, ex-husband, ex-partner, or whoever is currently physically hurting you. Are you ready? Let's go. Number 1, has the physical violence increased in severity or frequency over the past year? Yes or no? Number 2, does he own a gun? Yes or no? Have you left him after living together during the past year? Yes or no? Number 4, is he unemployed? Yes or no? Number 5, has he ever used a weapon against you or threatened you with a lethal weapon? If you answer yes to this, was the weapon a gun? So you'll answer yes or no to whether he used a lethal weapon. And if it was a gun, you're going to put a second yes next to it. Number 6, does he threaten to kill you? Yes or no? Number 7, has he done anything to avoid being arrested for domestic violence? Yes or no? For example, someone has called the police and he has taken off so that he wouldn't be arrested. Number 8, do you have a child that is not his? Yes or no? Number 9, has he ever forced you to have sex when you did not wish to do so? Remember, being with a partner doesn't mean that you're required to give them sex whenever they want. If you don't want it and you even say yes to it when you don't want it, that is being forced to have sex when you do not wish to do so. Number 10, does he ever try to choke or strangle you or cut off your breathing? Yes or no to that? There's a second part to this question which will require another yes or no. If yes, has he done it more than once? Or did it make you pass out or black out or make you dizzy? So you have yes or no if you've ever been strangled or choked, and yes or no if he's done it more than once, if he made you pass out, or if he made you dizzy. Number 11, does he use illegal drugs? And by drugs, I mean uppers or amphetamines, meth, speed, angel dust, cocaine, crack, street drugs, or mixtures of these drugs. Number 12, is he an alcoholic or a problem drinker? Number 13, yes or no? Does he control most or all of your daily activities? For instance, does he tell you who you can be friends with, when you can see your family, how much money you can use, or when you can take the car? Yes or no? 14, is he violently and constantly jealous of you? Does he say things like, if I can't have you, no one can? Is he accusing you of having sex with somebody else? Is he looking at your phone and seeing that if you're talking to a man? Yes or no? Number 15, have you ever been beaten by him while you were pregnant? Yes or no? Number 16, has he ever threatened or tried to commit suicide? Yes or no? Number 17, does he threaten to harm your children? Number 18, and let's be honest with this one. We need to be honest with all of these questions. Do you believe that he is capable of killing you? Yes or no? Number 19, does he follow or spy on you, leave threatening notes or messages, destroy your property, or call you when you don't want him to? Yes or no? And the last question, have you ever threatened or tried to commit suicide? Yes or no? So if you have answered yes, first of all, count up how many yeses you have and how many no's you have. I'll give you a second to do that. So count up and write down how many yeses and how many no's. I'm taking my time on this video because it's really important that we discuss this. So if you have answered yes to more than 7 or 8 questions, you are on the road to the violence turning deadly. Here is what you really need to be absolutely honest with yourself in this moment. How can someone who professes to love you do any of these things? The truth is, they can't. So what is love? Because a lot of abusers will do these things and then they'll turn around and say they love you. God tells us exactly what love is in 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 to 8. So I'm going to tell you what love is. Love is patient. Is he patient with you? Love is kind. Is he kind to you all the time? It doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, and is not proud. Is he jealous? Is he accusing? Love does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. And it keeps no record of wrongs. I want you to think about that. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Now here's the last part of this, and I really want you to listen to this. Love always protects. An abuser is not protecting you. Love always trusts. Accusations is not trusting. Love always hopes. Excuse me. And love always perseveres. And here's the last statement. Love never fails. Physical violence, abusive words, sexual violence, jealousy, manipulation, accusation, threats, isolation, and all other abusive behaviors, none of this is love. If you're a victim of violence, I want you to listen to me now. I want you to know this truth. You are valued. You are loved. You are intelligent. And you are beautiful. God does not want you to suffer violence. He wants you to live free from violence in peace and tranquility. And there is a way out. And the biggest one of the biggest ones, it's not your fault. Abusers will make everything your fault. Their behavior is your fault. And that's a lie. Abuse is not love. If someone professes to love you and then abuses you, they are lying to you. And they're not going to change. That's a fact. If you're a victim of violence, please reach out to somebody and get the help you need to leave your abusive situation. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 immediately. Get the help you need to leave immediately. The police can remove you and bring you to a safe location. With 1 in 3 women experiencing domestic violence worldwide, for all of you who don't suffer abuse, I want you to know that the question is not if you'll encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do when you do encounter them? You could be the person who saves a life. Don't take the attitude that it's their private matter. It's not my business. That's a lie. Love acts. Love protects. You are called. We are all called to be champions for justice. Those who suffer violence need to know that those who love them, and even those who don't even know them, will reach out and step out to give them the help and the courage they need to leave before it's too late. Please help us get these messages out. The whole purpose of these videos is for those who don't suffer violence to recognize it and intervene, and for those who do suffer violence to recognize it and get the help they need before it's too late. So follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Hit that like button. And please share these messages with others, because you never know. Just by sharing this message with somebody, you could save a life. This series is dedicated in honor of Gabby Petito, a bright young woman whom the world has lost because of gender violence, and to all of the women and everyone who suffers gender violence. So please check out the foundation her family, Gabby's family, created in honor of her. They're doing a lot of great work. You can find it at gabbypetitofoundation.org. Tomorrow, now that we've done the danger assessment, tomorrow we're going to talk about how you can develop a safety plan. Until then, God bless you.